Okay, I've given up with putting the point seal back in to the pen's nib assembly end, and I've put it into the section, and I'm going to tighten that down. Now we'll get to the barrel, the rear barrel O-ring seal. For that, I'm gonna need a narrow screwdriver. There we go. When you're tightening this back up, you need to be careful because you don't want to strip that screw out. It mounts. Let's see here. Goes into there. And there, it's sticking out. What you do is you push this down. Just keep that in there so it doesn't come out and you don't lose the screw. It's hard to see. I don't know if I can get a light on there. But inside there, there is a rubber O-ring. I'm going to zoom out so it might be better on the zoom. Yeah, there you can see that white or lightish colored ring is actually the seal. And I'm going to try to work it out of there. Actually might take a little while. Don't use something with a point. Use something more with a blunt end so that you can work it out of there without taking a chance of pushing through the barrel of the pen. It's very thin and fragile. So I'm going to pause here and clean that out. Alright, I hit that with pretty much every tool I had around. I used a flat-bladed jeweler's screwdriver, some picks, which I just used to hold it in place because the old rubber O-ring had flattened out and dried out and it spun around in there. I needed something to get a hold of it to keep it from spinning when I picked it loose. So now that's totally cleaned out of there. So I'm going to take the new O-ring. Once again, a little bit of silicone grease all over it. And then replace it back in. This could be another tricky fit. I'm going to try this off screen as well so that I'm not messing around until I get it to fit. I'll just fit it in there. Alright, I discovered tip number 2, which is to partially fit the O-ring in so it's all the way down through, then to put the rod in and essentially push it back up and cause it to self-seat in there. Now I'm going to tighten back the tail end into there, and as I said, you don't want to strip this out, so I pretty much check it and see how tight it's getting. I think that's got it. Let's see here. Yeah, that's tight enough. So now we're going to want to place this back into the sack protector. So I'm going to get my tools out, which I've got a pair of long needle nose pliers to crimp it back around and in the 4 spots, and I'm going to clean up and do that next. Alright, so I'm going to insert this back in. I've already coated the outside of that sack with light dusting of graphite, powdered graphite lubricant. So you can also use, if you have pure talcum powder, and that means pure without any perfumes, so not baby powder. So that's all the way in there. And then I'm going to crimp this down. Alright, I've gotten that crimped back down, and you can see barely the indentations around there. So next, I'm going to make sure that you have the snorkel correctly oriented. And what I mean by that is, when it comes out of here, you want the snorkel to go flush, and that looks pretty good. When it goes out, it should be flush with the body of the pen when it's fully retracted. And I'm going to have to check that now by tightening it back in. And then tightening this down, and you want it to fully, that's too far in, I think. Yep. It's hard to see, but with it fully tightened around, it's not flush. It should be just so that it's visible. And that means I need to pull it out from that about a 1/16 of an inch, it looks like. Well, maybe even more than that. Maybe an 1/8. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to adjust that out. Pull that out just there and retry and see how that fits. Still not quite right. Pull it out just another teeny bit. Try it again. Okay, let's see. Maybe this time I'm going to have to just pull it farther than what I think. Alright. If it doesn't work this time, I'll adjust it off camera. I'm going to adjust off camera. I'll be right back. Alright, that's got it pretty much perfect. You can see it there. Flush. And then when I turn it out, there it goes. And then tighten it back down, and it's nice, perfectly flush. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to shellac those threads in there between the barrel and the section, and that's going to complete the project. Tighten that down, then tighten this back, nice and flush, and there we go. And the next thing you'll see is the filling, because I'm going to let that shellac dry and everything, and then ultimately the finished pen in its desk base, which it looks really nice. Okay, I'm back and got some water here, and once again we're gonna let you see the actuation of that snorkel. Turn it out until the back part clicks, pull it out, and then dip just the snorkel into the water and then force it down. Leave it there for about a second, and then you can tighten it back down and retract the snorkel. Now if I back this up, and then I think you can see there the water spraying out, and plus you get that hissing sound as well, I'm sure, on the audio. That means that you got a full vacuum from pressure in the barrel, and everything should be set. And I'm going to show you the nice marble base that came with it. There's that. And what it ultimately ends up looking like. And that is my Sheaffer Snorkel restoration. Thanks, and see you on the next video.